Hey everybody, I have been in the car business for going on 20 years for myself. This March will be 20 years. It's been a ride, and over the last couple of years, I've been thinking about just telling a couple of the experiences that I have in the business because if you've ever been around the car business, you know that it's can be kind of wild at times, and some unexpected things can happen, and that's what makes it kind of addictive. And along with opportunities to make a good living, sometimes it's hard to get away from just because of the experiences. So one of my more recent experiences was I work 6 days a week. I'm off on Sundays, and I was at home, and my assistant James, very good friend, more than an assistant, but he called me and he said there was a lady in a wheelchair that looked to be stuck in between some of the cars, because on the weekends we put the cars up really tight next to each other, up next to the building, to kind of protect it from thieves and catalytic converter people, that kind of deal. And he thought she might be stuck. It happened to be 114 degrees that day. So I jammed down here to check her out, make sure she was all right. And when I got down here, she was okay. And she said she was trying to get to my water hose to cool off. And she was a very large woman that was able to get out of her wheelchair, but not very easily. So I went and I got the water hose for her, and she just immediately started just spraying herself, just like totally just taking a bath right there, in my parking lot. So I went inside and got some water, and I got some food that I had in my fridge and a couple beers. And I cracked a beer when I went outside. I asked her if she'd like one, and she kind of lied and said, "Oh, this is the first time I've ever had a beer. What kind of beer is this? I like this." And it just made me laugh because she was saying a bunch of crazy stuff. But I was just trying to be there because 114 degrees, stuck in a wheelchair by herself, she could be in trouble, So anyway, we visited. I gave her $10 so she could get some food later, and I wanted to get back to my family. So she said, she would turn the water off because I arranged a vehicle where she could get up to where the water hose was. So when I came in on Monday, there was a bar of soap on the ground, so she went on to full-on bathing mode. There was a bunch of trash everywhere. It was like a litter line of wherever she went. And I just picked it up and, still glad to help her out. I don't want anyone to go through, stuff like that. That's sad. And not to have anybody. So, I don't hear from her for a couple days. And then on my cameras, about 2 days later, I notice a guy drags a mattress up next to my shop. And then here comes this lady, and she's wheeling herself up there, being pushed actually, and she lays down on the mattress and ends up spending the night in a parking spot next to my dealership, and is just camped out. And so I come in the next morning. Thankfully she's gone, the guy's gone, but there's just a mess. And so I immediately clean it up because I don't want people to get the idea that they could start a camp right next to the shop. And I don't hear anything from her. I throw the mattress, get it. I call in the city so they can come and pick it up and haul it off because it's too big for the dumpster or for my little trash can. And so I end up not thinking about it for a few days, and then all of a sudden I get a call, and it's her. She says, "Hey Jim, this is so and so, and I want to let you know I'm in the hospital." And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that." And she said, "Well, I'm gonna come see you whenever I get out." And I said, "Okay." And I'm thinking, "Oh God, it's nice." And I made a friend that could be like a lot of energy that I got to give off, but I still don't regret trying to help her out and checking in on her. And a few days pass, and she shows up here, and she's being pushed by her son. And he is just a complete mess. He can't stand still, can't stop talking. They're arguing with each other in front of me, and I don't know either one of them very well, but it's just a really volatile deal. But she tells me, "Jim," and remember, she's a big lady, in a wheelchair. She says, I want that Mini Cooper right there. I was just like, okay, well, when you get ready to buy a car from me, I'll be happy to sell you a car. Thinking, she just spent the night on the mattress next to the shop and took a bath in the parking lot. And she says, if I buy a car from you, can I take it today? I said, whenever you get ready to buy a car, I'll sell you a car and you can take it that day, whenever you get ready. And she says, well, you don't want me to count this money out here, do you? I said, well, do you want to go inside? And I'm still thinking that she's just trying to find a way to go inside of my shop and get into some air conditioning. And because again, remember, she's just, a couple days earlier. So she comes in, she sits down, she unzips her purse, and then she just starts handing me stacks of money. And it was like Twilight Zone for a minute, because I'm like, hold on, you were just sleeping in the parking lot. She tries to give me the $10 back too, which I thought was pretty cool, but I didn't take it. I told her, if you're going to give me your business, that's more than $10, so thank you for that. And anyway, yeah, she bought the Mini Cooper, and she said she was going to drive to a nearby place, like about an hour and a half north, where her aunt lives, and she was going to go pay her aunt $500 that she has owed her for like 10 years. So I had to know, I'm like, okay, what happened here? And so I guess she was waiting on a settlement for a long time. She thought it was going to be something like $12,000, and suddenly it turned up and it was over $40,000, which is, wild, and what a windfall for a person that was just sleeping in a parking lot. And so yeah, she drove off in the Mini Cooper. And the next time I saw her, the wheelchair was strapped up on top in the rack. She was driving. She said, and I told her, I said, don't let anybody drive your car. This is just your car. Don't let anybody drive it. And I got her to get insurance on it right away too, because I was worried she was just going to drive around and not have it insured. So she did that. Seemed good. A couple days later, she calls me. She goes, Jim, can I come down there and look at that RV that you got on your lot? And I had bought this RV thinking that my uncle was going to buy it, because he said he wanted a cheap, good running RV. So I bought one. Not something I normally would have bought for the lot, but I ended up stuck with it because he changed his mind. So she ends up saying she wants to look at that so she can get off the street, and she's found a place that she could probably hook it up and everything. So I end up saying, yeah, come on down, let's look at it. And so she gets here and she crawls up, she climbs up in there, and she sits down and immediately unzips her purse, reaches in there and gets a cigarette, and just starts to light it. She goes, oh, I probably shouldn't smoke in here, should I? And then I said, well, if you buy it, I can't tell you what to do, but if you're not sure you're going to buy it, please don't smoke in it, in case I get somebody that's a non-smoker and it bothers them. And she looks around side to side. She's like, this'll do, it's got enough space. And then she just lit her cigarette. She goes, go write it up. And so I came inside and I wrote it up, and by the time I went back out to the RV, because she wanted to do the paperwork in the RV, she probably smoked 5 or 6 cigarettes, I don't know, but it was like she was hotboxing in there. And we ended up driving it down to where she wanted it, which was cool, and got her situated. And it's crazy, because that sounds like a wonderful way to spend some of that money and a good experience. But then within a couple days, she calls me and tells me that she lent the keys to somebody to her car and she doesn't know where that's at. I said, well, you've got insurance, call, make a claim. Your car has it been stolen? Well, not really, because she gave him the keys. So that ended up, from what I heard, impounded in another state. Don't know the details of that really, but she didn't have that. So then where we delivered the RV to where she was supposed to be able to park it, hook it up, and not have to be driving it, calls me and tells me, hey, the steps came off of the RV. And so we went and we just wanted to look just to make sure, trying to do customer service. No, the steps didn't come off. Somebody drove it and left the steps down, and ripped them off. So then I kept seeing the RV just parked randomly in this area, and was hoping that she would get it back into a place. And as a few days ago, I did see that it's parked in a good place, and hopefully she's got, you know, her utilities hooked up and she's off the street. But crazy story, kind of blew my mind. You know, a lady that comes in and she's like in such need, and then, you know, I'm used to like good things coming back around. You know, I don't do them because they are going to come back around to me. I just know that when you put good out, you get good, you know, but I'm not keeping track. But within a week or two to have a couple sales off of just, you know, being kind and having a beer and listening to a couple of her crazy stories, that was pretty cool. But anyway, let me know what you think about the story. I just feel like it's worthy of sharing, and you know, kind of go from there. Hope everyone's having a great day, and I'm gonna Saturday, my 6th day working this week, so I'm about ready to shut this off. You know, round it up, go home, and have a little weekend. So have a good one.